What if one of the greatest voices in music history spent his final years terrified, broke, addicted, and hiding from the world? To millions, Marvin Gaye was a genius. The smooth voice behind classics like What's Going On, Sexual Healing, and Let's Get On. But behind the fame was a man falling apart. Drug addiction, paranoia, violent family fights, a failed comeback, and a tragic ending that shocked the entire music industry. This is the dark truth about Marvin Gaye's final years.
Mother, there's too many.
Part 1. The man who changed music. In the 1960s and 70s, Marvin Gaye became one of the biggest stars at Motown. His music wasn't just popular. It changed R&B forever. While many artists sang about love and dancing, Marvin started talking about war, poverty, racism, addiction, and pain. Then came What's Going On. The album became legendary. Critics called it one of the greatest albums ever made. Fans saw Marvin as a fearless artist who understood human suffering better than anyone else. But while the world praised him, his private life was becoming a nightmare. Part 2. Fame was destroying him. By the late 1970s, Marvin Gaye was deeply unhappy. He struggled with depression for years. He also became heavily addicted to cocaine. Friends said Marvin barely slept. Sometimes he stayed awake for days. The drugs made his paranoia worse. He started believing people wanted to kill him. Bodyguards followed him everywhere. Some reports claimed he even wore bulletproof vests during performances. Imagine being one of the most famous singers alive and constantly feeling hunted. At the same time, his finances were collapsing. Despite selling millions of records, Marvin owed huge amounts of money. Bad spending habits, legal problems, and drug addiction drained his fortune. Then came one of the biggest humiliations of his life. A judge ordered Marvin to give part of his next album's royalties to his ex-wife as part of a divorce settlement. That album became Here, My Dear. Instead of making a normal love album, Marvin turned the entire project into an emotional confession about his failed marriage. The album shocked fans. Some thought it was genius. Others thought it was bitter and disturbing. But one thing was clear: Marvin Gaye was emotionally breaking down in public. Part 3. Running from his life. Things became so bad that Marvin left America. He moved to Europe trying to escape his addictions, debts, and emotional pain. For a while, he lived in London and later in Ostend. This period was strange. Sometimes Marvin disappeared for days. Sometimes he looked healthy and focused. Other times he looked completely lost. People close to him said he became obsessed with fear and religion. He talked about death constantly, but then something incredible happened. In 1982, Marvin released Sexual Healing. The song exploded worldwide. It became one of the biggest hits of his career. For a moment, it looked like Marvin Gaye had survived the darkness. The comeback was massive. Awards, money, fame again. But privately, the pain never left.
I love you more. It took me by surprise.
Part 4. The final downfall. After returning to the United States, Marvin's mental state reportedly became worse. His cocaine addiction spiraled out of control. Friends said he became unpredictable and emotionally unstable.
Son and none, what you hear.
Sometimes he isolated himself for days. Other times he became aggressive. Eventually, Marvin moved back in with his parents in Los Angeles. And that decision would end in tragedy.
Oh, I knew out your plans.
Marvin's relationship with his father had always been toxic. His father was strict, controlling, and deeply religious. The two argued constantly throughout Marvin's life. As Marvin's mental health declined, the fights became more intense.
Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
Family members later described the home as filled with tension and fear. Then came April 1st, 1984, just one day before Marvin's 45th birthday. An argument inside the house turned violent.
You make me blue with some of them guys.
Accounts differ on exactly how things escalated. But during the confrontation, Marvin's father shot him. The music world was stunned. One of the greatest singers in history was gone, killed inside his own home by his own father.
And I'm just about to lose my mind, honey.
Part 5. The saddest part of the story.
If it's true, please tell me, dear.
What makes Marvin Gaye's ending so heartbreaking is that many people believe he was crying for help long before his death. Behind the fame, success, and legendary music was a man drowning in addiction,
Through the grapevine, not much longer.
trauma, fear, and loneliness. His songs suddenly sound different when you know what he was going through, especially tracks like Inner City Blues and Save the Children. It's almost like Marvin was warning the world about his pain through music.
Oh, say believe half of what you see.
And maybe that's why people still connect to him decades later. Because Marvin Gaye didn't sound perfect. He sounded human, broken, emotional, searching for peace.
I heard it through the grapevine.
Even today, Marvin Gaye remains one of the most influential voices in music history. Artists across R&B, hip-hop, soul, and pop still sample his music and study his style. But his story is also a warning. Fame can make people look untouchable, while they secretly fall apart behind closed doors.
And picket signs, don't punish me.
And sometimes, the people making the most beautiful music are fighting the darkest battles. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Beyond the Beat for more untold music stories, tragic downfalls, and the dark side of fame.